Welcome back to the Daily Bitcoin 5. 5 stories every day that matter to Bitcoin. Today on the Bitcoin 5, a huge Bitcoin call from Chartered Bank. Let's go. Before the stories, the Bitcoin price check. Current price, about $64,200. Bitcoin is holding steady above $64,000, up 1.7% from 4 days ago and essentially flat over the past month, less than 0.25%. The most notable movement remains the 4-year perspective. BTC has surged 207.5% when it traded at just about $20,900. Story 5. Bitcoin climbed back above $64,300 this week, showing resilience as it continues one of its longest consolidation periods in history. The move represents day 307 of what has become Bitcoin's third longest trading range, with price holding remarkably stable despite the extended sideways action. Historical patterns suggest that prolonged consolidation often precedes significant breakouts in either direction. The 307-day range is notable because previous extended consolidations have typically resolved with substantial price movements that establish new trading paradigms. Story 4. Iran war escalates, but Bitcoin bounces back. The fragile ceasefire between the United States and Iran appears to have collapsed, with President Trump declaring the agreement over following another week of military escalation. Iranian attacks on commercial tankers in the Strait of Hormuz triggered fresh US strikes on Iranian military targets. Iran then retaliated against American military sites across the Gulf. However, no new attacks were reported on Friday, and Qatar is now attempting to bring both sides back to the negotiating table. The immediate impact on Bitcoin was negative. BTC initially fell more than 3% to around $61,700 as investors moved away from risk assets. But Bitcoin has since recovered towards $64,000 despite the ceasefire officially breaking down. That suggests Bitcoin is still behaving like a risk asset during the initial shock, but it is also proving increasingly resilient once the panic subsides. The key risk now is the Strait of Hormuz. Around 1/5 of global oil supplies normally pass through the waterway. Any prolonged disruption could push oil and inflation higher, strengthen the dollar, and place renewed pressure on Bitcoin. For now, Bitcoin has absorbed another major geopolitical shock, but the situation remains extremely fragile. Story 3. Coinbase confirms bipartisan sprint on Bitcoin. Coinbase, now valued at $60 billion, confirmed that both political parties are racing to finalize and pass the Bitcoin Clarity Act. The announcement signals significant momentum for comprehensive Bitcoin regulation that would provide legal certainty for institutional adoption and Treasury operations. The bipartisan push suggests that Bitcoin regulation has moved beyond partisan politics into practical policy implementation. The Clarity Act has been positioned as framework legislation that would define Bitcoin's legal status and create clear rules for corporate treasury operations, taxation, and custody. Story 2. Japan's Metaplanet launches Bitcoin-backed credit study. The initiative represents Asia's answer to emerging Bitcoin treasury innovations, combining Bitcoin collateral with stablecoin infrastructure and daily yield distribution. The project aims to create financial products backed by Bitcoin that generate continuous returns, similar to preferred share structures already deployed in the United States. This marks a significant evolution in how Bitcoin treasury companies are thinking about shareholder value beyond simple Bitcoin accumulation. For Bitcoin investors, this is the macro backdrop to watch. Currency stress changes how people think about scarce non-sovereign money. Story 1. This year, Standard Chartered Bank is standing firm on its bullish Bitcoin call, maintaining its prediction that Bitcoin will hit $100,000 before year-end. The bank called Bitcoin a screaming buy at current levels, providing institutional validation as price consolidates in the $64,000 range. The projection comes as Bitcoin trades roughly 35% below the predicted target, with just over 5 months remaining in 2026. Standard Chartered's confidence signals that traditional financial institutions see significant upside potential despite the recent pullback from March highs. That's today's Bitcoin 5. Let me know your favourite story from today in the comments below, and subscribe now so tomorrow's update lands directly in your feed. I'll see you tomorrow.